Welcome to Voice Unbound, the podcast where silence is shattered, healing begins, and your true voice finds freedom in Christ. I'm your host, Laura Ard, and if you've ever felt like your voice has been silenced, your identity lost, or your confidence shaken, this is the space for you. Here we'll dive deep into stories of healing and the power of God's truth to restore your voice. Together, we will explore how to reclaim your identity in Christ and walk in the freedom He offers. Each week, we will share stories and conversations and practical tools designed to help you find healing, renew your spirit, and boldly live out the purpose God has for you. Welcome. Let's get started. Welcome to Voice Unbound, where I have the privilege of bringing on women to share their stories, but most importantly, use their voice. You know, so many times, Jennifer, we allow our voice to get silenced. And today I have Jennifer, and she's going to come in and share her story. And, you know, I told her just to share what was on her heart because that's what I want. This is God's platform, and I like for everyone to have that freedom to share. So, Jennifer, welcome to my podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so proud of you for starting this podcast and bringing lots of joy and faith and love to all of your listeners.
Oh, thank you. It has been such a privilege. And I just thank him for allowing me to have this space to do that.
Awesome.
So take me back. I do like to start, and I probably don't want to throw you off. And if it does,
Okay.
just tell me. But I always like a little history because I am a questioner and I always love to find out about people. And that's my husband
Mhm.
used to laugh at me because we'd be somewhere and we'd get back in the car and I could tell him almost their whole life story. And he's like, how did you get all that information? And it's like, I'm curious. And so I
Yeah.
ask. So I like to know, like, where did you start from? Born? Where were you born? And kind of like what was your family life like? And then how it led you to where you are today?
All right. Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. I live like right now in a 20-mile radius of where I grew up. The only
Oh,
time I've
cool.
ever moved away was for college.
Yeah.
Moved away, went to college, and then came right back. So
Yeah.
I've been in my same little area. I mean, I call it a hometown. Houston is ginormous, but
Yeah. Yeah.
in my little
Just a
pocket,
tad. Yeah.
yeah. But I've stayed in my little like suburb pocket, which I
Mm,
love, and I love the community here. I was raised by two amazing parents who brought me up in a way of learning about faith, gratitude, hope, and all the things. Just really, really great childhood. So many fun
wonderful.
childhood stories
Yeah.
and just fun memories. I was very blessed too. Like I don't have any like struggles or bad like childhood memories or any of that. It was just
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Like my whole
Mm-hmm.
childhood was beautiful.
That's
I
awesome.
did have to have back surgery when I was 17. So that was like my big life change pivot. I
Mm.
was going in the direction of wanting to become a ballet dancer, like a professional ballet dancer.
Yeah.
I was in the Nutcracker and Wortham Center in Houston, the big stage, and did
Mm.
all of the beautiful things. And that was like, yeah, I'm going to go to college, maybe in New York, and become a dancer. And God had a different plan for me.
Mm.
And sometimes we don't know what the reason is. It sort of knocked me off my feet, and literally because I had back
Yes,
surgery,
literally.
so I have rods from like top to bottom. I can't bend my back at all, and
Mm.
so dance career was most definitely over, and I had to pivot and figure out what God's plan was for me next. Right, so the
Yeah.
dancing
Yeah.
part, like in that season of my life, that's what I was supposed to do. I was very
Right.
passionate about it, and I gave the gift of joy to people who were watching me dance on stage. And I loved to entertain and perform and all of those things. But all of the things in my life, I feel like were little pockets of pivots. And
Yeah.
there's a season, right? And we all talk
Yeah.
about this all the
There is.
time. Like there's
Yeah.
a season for everything. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was people's purpose and passion, because we
Yeah.
can be really passionate about something in a season, and we were meant for that, right? In that season,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean we're meant for that the rest of our life.
Forever. Right.
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 And
I
some
love that.
people like think about that with school. Like you go to, I went to college. Some people go to trade school to study this one thing, right? Like
Yeah.
for me, it was a teacher. God called me
Yeah.
to become a teacher. And I met my husband right after my surgery. I would not have
Mm.
met him if it weren't for my
Oh,
surgery.
yeah.
So I wouldn't have my family. Like all these beautiful things
Mhm. Mhm.
came from that surgery. It was a horrible, experience.
Mhm.
However, it taught me how to be resilient, how to bounce back, I met my husband, I had my family, I became a teacher, like all these beautiful things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I wouldn't have had.
Was that something of an accident, or was this just a growth thing that disrupts
I
your
had so I have a genetic disorder. It's a long name. I'm going to
Yeah.
say it. Y'all can look it up later if you want, but it's called neurofibromatosis is the
Uh-huh.
name of the genetic disorder that I have. We shorten it to NF for short.
Yeah, yeah.
And I developed scoliosis. It can be one of the side effects of the disorder.
Mm, mm,
And the type of scoliosis that comes from this genetic disorder is a jagged, like a lightning bolt curve, rather than
wow,
an S curve.
wow.
And so, since the curve was so jagged, it was harder to correct with surgery. They did the best they could. My really bad jagged curve is in my lower part of my back, which is dangerous
Yeah.
for surgery with trying to like maneuver that lower part.
Mhm.
So that's why I grew like 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches in 1 year. And so
Wow,
my curve just got real bad real fast.
real
And
fast.
so I had to have the surgery, like, a year before my curve wasn't terrible. And within
Right.
like 9 months, it got real bad.
Mm.
And they were like, surgery or wheelchair, you take your pick.
You choose, right? Yeah,
And I'm
you made
like,
a great
okay,
decision.
surgery, thank you.
Yes,
And
yes.
so did that, went to school to become a teacher and loved my job teaching. I was like I'm
All
born and
in.
raised to be a teacher. I'm all
Yes,
in.
yes.
It was the perfect scenario for me. I started in public school, figured out really quick that that wasn't for me
Mhm,
because I didn't like all of the restrictions that you had
mhm,
in public school. So
mhm.
found teaching in the Catholic school setting was a beautiful place for me. I was born and raised Catholic. My husband went to Catholic school. I'm like, this is a great fit. So
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
that for a long time. We had our kids, they went to Catholic school with me. We all went together. It was like a family affair. It was our
Mhm,
parish, it was our school. My kids were there. I worked there. It was like this beautiful thing. It was beautiful.
mhm,
And
mhm.
I'm like, okay, all right, God, here it is.
This is
My
it. My picture
passion.
perfect life.
This
Yes.
is it. This is it. I
Yeah.
love it. And then again, God had his little pivot once more. Our oldest son rather, has dreamed of being a chef his whole life. Since he was 2 years old, he's been
That's
cooking
so
in the
awesome.
kitchen. Like, I mean, we're talking, he pushed up a chair to the oven when we were asleep and just
Mm-mm.
started cooking and
Oh,
then brought
no.
it to us
Oh,
in
goodness.
bed. And my husband and I both look at each other and we're both laying side by
Yeah,
side asleep.
yeah,
And we're
yeah.
like, oh my God.
Oh,
And like
yeah.
jump
We're
up,
gonna burn
right?
the
We
house
run,
down. Yeah.
right. We run to the
Oh.
kitchen and thinking that it was going to be on fire. Like the kitchen was just going to
Mhm,
be gone. And
mhm.
it wasn't. Everything was fine. There was a mess, a
A mess,
big mess,
yeah,
big mess.
yeah.
But he made scrambled eggs very beautifully. They were fluffy and beautiful and
Oh,
delicious. And from then on, he had been cooking. He started a catering business when he was really young. Like, I mean, we're talking 9 years old.
gosh. Oh my
He catered
goodness.
weddings, he catered birthday parties, he catered events by himself with
That is
with a
so
little bit
cool.
of me helping him, but like
Yeah, yeah,
he created all of it by himself.
yeah.
He was starting to get asked to come cook on TV. So he,
Mhm.
local TV show we have here, he cooked on, and then he was asked to audition for a show called Top Chef Junior,
Yes, I love that show.
and it
Yeah.
was so incredible. So he got on the show and we went and he got into the top 15 and then he got
Oh,
eliminated,
which
devastating,
is
really
still
hard.
cool. Yeah,
It was still cool though. We got to
but
go
it
to
was
LA
hard.
together. I mean, it was cool, right?
Yeah.
And so then another opportunity came up for him to be in a TV show again. And I'm like, absolutely, let's sign him up.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I hop on down to the principal's office with my little form for him because they have to have a school release. And
Mhm.
I give it to the principal and I hop away as happy as can be and thinking everything is great. A week later, he calls me in and tells me I am not a dedicated teacher to the school because anytime my son gets an opportunity to go to LA to be on a show,
Mhm.
I'm going to go. And I'm like, I'm absolutely going to go, like,
Yes,
hands
most
down,
definitely. Yeah.
100%. Like, that's what I'm going
Yeah.
to do. So I was told my contract was not going to be renewed.
Mm.
Again, devastated, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that had to
Devastated
be
that
crushing. Mm.
that was my life. Like that was my
Yeah.
not only my life, that was my faith, that was my work,
Mhm.
that was my parish, that was
Mhm.
where my kids would. I mean,
Your
I
whole
was
life revolved around there, and of all
correct.
places, you would think that would have been your highest support.
100%. The
Yeah.
principal before was very supportive of that. This was a new principal that came in, and he either didn't understand or
He
uh,
chose not to.
he chose whatever it was.
Yeah.
best decision of my life. I
In that
thought I was
moment, you didn't feel that, but
oh, no. No,
yeah.
no, no. I was crying, I was angry, I went through all
Yes.
the stages, and
Yeah.
then it was when I got real quiet with my faith and prayed and just
Mm.
like, "God, what I mean, you've done this to me before, and
Mhm.
it all turned out okay, and I know
Mhm.
it will again, but what is it that I'm supposed to do?" I had 2 dreams when I was a little girl after the dancer thing besides that, was
Yeah.
to be a teacher and to be a writer.
Mm.
And I've always loved writing. So I started writing a lot, started journaling a lot, started
Mm.
practicing gratitude a lot. I
Mm.
started to really face what I wanted, my dreams. And I knew, and something I wanted to talk about with you guys is that the thing about the passion and the purpose of that
Mhm.
season, and to
Mhm.
know that it's meant for you then, but maybe not it's meant for you forever. So I encourage people to revisit their passions and their purpose and their dream often, because it
Often.
shifts and it
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's a good thing, right? We
Mhm.
don't want it
Mhm.
like we don't the same thing that we liked when we were 18, we probably don't
Don't
like that.
apply now, right?
It
Yeah.
don't apply
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So we change, we evolve. It's kind of like with marriages. We sometimes will tell our spouse, like, "You're not the person I married," and it's kind of like, "I hope not," because
Exactly, right? Yeah, because
we
we've
need to
changed.
evolve. Correct.
But an important part,
So
change together, and
correct.
realize that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a lot of reflection. This is
Mhm.
about the time that I found yoga. And at first, I was very against yoga because I didn't know enough
Yeah.
about it. And that's
Yeah.
another thing I love to share with people is your yoga mat is your space. It is
Mm.
you can bring your faith there, any faith. You can bring your whatever ability you have, whatever age you
Mhm.
are, whatever background
Mhm.
you came from. That is your mat. That is your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially in my faith, they look at it as something that is evil
All
and
right.
bad. And my one of my missions with my nonprofit, and I'll get to that in a minute, but
Yeah.
it's to show that it's for everyone. When you're
Right.
on your mat, you can pray to God, you can pray to the universe,
All
you can
right.
pray
That's your
to plants
space.
if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. It's your
It's for
space.
you. Like
Yeah.
you do you on that mat. And I taught
Mhm.
just a few minutes ago, I came straight from a class and I say at every class, like, this is your sanctuary. Make it yours. Don't worry about what
Right.
anyone else is doing in the room. Don't worry
Mm-mm.
about who you were yesterday. It's you right here, right now on this mat, and you
Mm.
do what you need.
Mm.
And that's been a beautiful thing for me, because from being in that space and being on my mat and being quiet, because I have
Mm.
a hard time quieting my mind,
Yeah.
as many of us do, especially moms, right?
Yes.
We have a
Yeah.
really hard time doing that. And that's when these visions were coming to me. I feel like straight from God. And he's like, you are
Mm.
meant to do this big thing. And I have this like literal like movie picture in my head of what it's going to look like eventually. But my
Mhm.
nonprofit was born from that. And my
Mm.
nonprofit is named All the People. And we bring free and accessible yoga slash movement. We don't always do yoga,
Yeah.
movement to people who have different abilities, different ages, different
Oh,
backgrounds.
so cool.
And I show them that through their movement and being united in movement, they can inspire other people. Because
Mhm.
I've taught people that are 101. I've taught people that are paralyzed. I've taught people that are in wheelchairs. I've taught little babies. I mean, just
Mhm.
like a variety of
Everything.
people.
Mhm.
And I want to show all people that this can be for you, and you can get to a point to where you can quiet your mind and you can think about your dreams and your life and how to use your gifts
Mhm.
to make them come out into the world.
Mm.
And it's so inspiring to watch like 101-year-old, woman in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
like doing this like warrior two so beautifully.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, her life's not over. Like, you still got
No.
things you can do,
No.
sister. Like, you keep
Right.
on
Right.
going.
Her
And it's
voice is
just
still so
been
important. Yes.
yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
really cool journey, and I have brought my yoga to I've gone to different states now with my nonprofit,
Nice.
and
Nice.
I travel with it. I work a lot in my community just because I've always lived here, and I know
Yeah.
have a lot of
Yeah, it's home.
connections
Yeah.
here, and bringing it to the hospitals and places like that, which is really, really rewarding. And then my book also came
Mm.
from the time of being in Shavasana, and my book is about gratitude, and the title is Chasing Sunshine, and it is
Mm.
about how to find sunshine in, of course, it's easy in the highlights, right?
Of
But in the
course,
dark
we always
moments.
see it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, but in a dark
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
through even in death of loved ones, right?
Yeah.
There's gratitude there of, and I
Mhm.
spoke about this last week, but when someone brings you meals, right? Like you're so
Mhm.
like it means so much, and
Yeah.
there's gratitude and there's thankfulness and there's blessings there, even when you're in dark moments, and the more
Mhm.
you practice that gratitude, the more it finds its way to you, the more it radiates from you, and the
Mhm.
more that continues to, like, come back into your life, and it's just this beautiful cycle. The more you do it,
Yes.
the more you get back,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so that those are kind of the big, like, pivots that I've had in my life. There's more, of course, but, like, in, like, a nutshell,
Nutshell.
those are, like, the big
In a
ones.
yoga mat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just showing people to, continue to come back to their dreams, their passions, practice gratitude every single day. I have a gratitude journal. I have it actually in front of me right now, but, every day I write in this, and I write my
Mhm.
gratitude out. I write my dreams out, and I have a gift for your listeners. I'm
Oh,
gonna give you,
awesome. We love
the
that.
link to my Dreamcast meditation for them,
Oh,
and I'll send that
perfect.
to you after we're
Yes,
done.
yes.
But
We'll
it's
put that in the
something
show
just to
notes.
go, yeah, something to go back to and revisit and continue to,
Mhm.
let your dreams evolve and let your dreams, I call it dream casting, but
Yes.
let them change. Like it's
Mhm.
okay for them to
Yeah.
change. It's good for them to change.
Oh,
And
definitely,
so I
definitely.
feel like that is, like, in a nutshell, kind of, my story and my
Yeah,
background. I
yeah.
am married to my high school sweetheart, and we have
That's
three
so
beautiful boys,
I was gonna say how
and
many
their
boys?
ages, yeah,
Now,
three
the one that
boys.
loves to cook, did he place anywhere in that when y'all went this time?
The second time, no, no,
No.
but he's still
He's
got to he
still
was going to
still cooking?
college right now for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is,
Yeah.
doing a food studies major, at the University of Arizona,
Oh, wow.
and then he wants to, maybe do culinary school after. He did get into
Mhm.
culinary school, out of high school, but he knew that he wanted a real college experience,
Right.
and culinary school is a little different.
It
It's not
is. It
quite
is.
quite the full
Yeah.
college experience. And
Mhm.
so he's doing that, and then our middle one is graduating next weekend from
Oh
high
my
school.
goodness, you've got a senior.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
And then the baby Charlie, he is, I call him a baby. He's not really a baby.
Wow.
He's in sixth grade. He's in middle school.
So you've got a little ways yet to go with that one.
Little
They're
ways to
keeping you
go with that
busy.
one.
Yeah.
Keeps
Well,
us
it's
on our toes. Yeah.
oh, they do. And that age too, 6th grade. Those are all the 8th
Mhm.
grade. I remember being, some hard years. They're finding their way.
Yeah.
I had two, a boy and a girl, and then through my marriage had another boy and a girl, and they were all in their 14, 15 when we got together and married. And then my two granddaughters I raised for 8 years. And I
Oh,
remember
wow.
like, Lord, why are you wanting me to raise teenagers again? What was your thought in
Right?
that? It's like, oh, but it was some trying, but learning for all of us. They survived. I survived, and my husband, and they are off doing their thing now and doing really well. But
Oh, that's amazing.
children are a gift, and they're
They
such,
are.
there's in this world, it's so hard for them to live and
Mhm.
become, and, like you said, I mean, they need to learn these things at a young age of
Yes.
sitting down and
Yes.
casting those dreams because they
Mhm.
don't know how to dream, a lot of them. They just don't know
Yeah.
how to, or they're
Yeah.
afraid to, or they'll think they'll never
Yeah.
make it because they don't have the worth
Yeah.
inside of them. I
Yeah.
love casting dreams and thinking, and I know it's a silly thing, but I remember I always wanted a pool. I wanted an in-ground pool, and I remember sitting there and I
Uh-huh.
would vision that pool and think about how I wanted it
Uh-huh.
to look, and
Uh-huh.
and then the house when we were moving into, and I'm like, "I'll have a pool one day." And I had a pool one day. It came, and it was
Yay.
just because you
Yeah.
sat and think through it, of what you
Yes.
want, and God will
Uh-huh.
provide if that's his desire for you to have these
Mhm.
things
Mhm.
and have a way for it. But yes, I love that. And how long have you guys been married now?
We have been married 23 years on June 1st, so
Nice.
almost
Almost
our
there.
anniversary.
Yeah.
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 So
I
that's a
when
hard,
people ask me that, I forget
I
sometimes.
know. You have to look wait, let me do the minus, the dates.
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
do the year and the what it is now because yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
remember. But,
Yeah.
high school sweethearts, you don't hear that often anymore either.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
blessing to have that,
It was.
and
Yeah, we
what
grew
does
up
he
together.
do? What does he
He's
do
an
for work?
electrical engineer. So he does travel a lot for work, but that's been something we've had to learn, like how to
Mm,
maneuver and
right.
manage. And when the
Yeah.
boys were younger, it was really hard
I
because
bet that was. Yeah.
they would get set in their routines with him being gone, and then he would come
Yeah.
back and I'm like, "Man, you're messing up the whole routine."
Yeah, well, it's true because same thing for me when I was raising the girls. I came off the road because my husband and I traveled together, and I came off the road and took care of them for 8 years. Well, it was like 2
Mhm.
separate lives, really. I mean, that I don't know
Mhm.
how else to explain it because we lived one
Yeah.
way all week, and then he'd come
Yeah.
home on the
Yep.
weekend, and we're kinda like,
Yep.
we do this because he's home." And then he's
Yeah.
gone, and we're back doing our routine. And I would
100%.
carry
Yeah.
like you, I'm sure you carry all the weight of what was happening during the week because you don't wanna put it on them when they come home on the weekend because 'cause they're just there for a little
Mhm.
while, and so
Mhm.
unless it was really something that we had to have a family meeting over, but you
Right.
did. I carried so much weight of taking care of them and all, and it's hard. It's
Yeah.
very
It
hard.
is
So
hard. It is
I
hard. Yeah.
understand that, and a lot of wives
Yep.
can't handle it. And again, back to the voice. They lose their voice. They lose who
Yeah.
they are in the midst of all that, trying to
Mhm.
be the mother and the wife when he's halftime home and,
Mhm.
doing all the house stuff that you had to do and
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. But we
Yeah.
survived. We all
Yes, you
survived, right?
did.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Um, I
It
w
is.
I think also I was thinking back, you were talking about being a teacher and that being a gift, you're still using those skills because 'cause you're still
Mhm.
teaching, through your
Mhm.
yoga. And so
Yep.
God didn't never really take that away. He just gave you another
Oh, no.
format to
Not at all.
use
Yes.
it in. Yeah.
Yes,
So that's really
100%, and
cool.
I told, right when the whole decision happened, we didn't share with, really anyone what was going
Yeah.
on because our son was still our oldest, well, all of our kids went to school there, but,
Yeah.
I didn't want our oldest to take it, internally that he was
Right.
the reason
Right.
why I wasn't
Oh,
there.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
we just
Yeah.
told him, I wanted to just spend more time with the kids, which
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
But we didn't want him to internalize it until he was
That's a good
graduated. And
yes.
then after he left, we told him what had
Yeah.
happened. And
Yeah.
he was not real happy about it, but he was like, it was a good thing, mom. I'm like, it absolutely was a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was really a good thing.
Yeah.
So
So
that
protected
was
him.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't want
And
him,
that's good because there would have been he wouldn't have finished his year off, finishing off his schooling. He would have been
Mhm,
bitter,
mhm.
and I didn't need
Yes.
that. He
Yeah.
needed to
No, I didn't want
complete.
him to
Yeah.
feel that. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
Oh, Jennifer, this has been so fun. I love getting to know you. I know we've been in same rooms in a lot of places, but just
Yeah.
like last week, we were together and got to hear you
Yeah.
speak. And I just love
Yeah.
that, your light shining brightly and, helping
Yeah.
others to see that they can dream and can be grateful. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't start my day without my gratitudes either. I mean, that sets your
Mhm.
day for me anyway. That
Oh, yeah.
if I miss something, I'm like, oh, I know what's off. And I'll sit down. It's just like, okay, Lord, I'm here. Maybe I
Uh-huh.
got distracted, but I'm back. But
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
up early, so there's no excuse because a lot of times
Mhm.
people say, "I don't have time in the morning." You do. If you
You
set
do.
your time and your priority. I get
Yeah.
up about 4:30, but that gives me
Oh,
my time.
that is
I can
early.
spend it with him without thinking about what all I got to do for the
Mhm.
day.
Mhm.
And then I get so much done in the morning. I mean, you have
Right?
all that quietness, you get a lot done. And then when
Uh-huh.
you're ready to start, you're like, "Whew, look at all I got completed. And now I can go to the
Mhm.
next task and the next task." And it doesn't feel so overwhelming. But
Yeah.
yeah. So where are you headed next?
So my goal is to get my book published this year. I have one book
Yay.
offer already, and so my goal is to have it out in November because November is the month of thankfulness and gratitude. I think it would be a
Yeah.
perfect segue, and then the
Yes.
holiday season is right
Yes.
there. So I
Yes.
would love for your listeners to be on the lookout for my book coming out in November. And my what I'm asking everyone is to buy two, one for you and one to
You
give
want to give.
one to
Yes.
give to
Great
someone,
idea.
because everyone needs a lot of gratitude. And then I want to
Mhm.
keep traveling around, promoting my nonprofit, speaking on stages, sharing my story, and just showing people that there's always a way to make your dreams come true. There's always a way to shift and pivot when they don't turn out the way you want.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I feel like my super secret power is not secret. My superpower is gratitude,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
finding gratitude in all the
Mhm.
situations, because if it weren't for that, then all of these beautiful things I don't think would have
Would
found their
never
way to
come
me because
forth.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
been receptive.
Right.
And
Right.
so if nothing else, I tell people do in the morning, like do your gratitude every single day. Another tip I give people is to go outside every morning and get sunlight on your eyes before
Mm.
anything else and barefoot, like in the grass, like
Yeah.
stand,
Yeah.
take some breaths, reflect, pray, and then do your gratitude like that.
Mhm.
That's been a
Opens you
beautiful
up
shift and
more.
change.
Mhm.
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 Yes.
I believe that. That is so helpful because I can go out there just for a few minutes in the
Mhm.
sun, and we haven't had that lately because we've had so much rain,
Oh,
but
yeah,
go out
yeah,
there and it
but
does. It puts
still,
a whole new
yeah,
perspective on your body
yeah,
and your heart and your mind.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I come
yeah.
back in, I'm like, "Okay, now I can do the next thing." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it helps
Yeah.
your sleep, like, your sleep
Yes.
cycle starts when you first wake up, so if you go outside and even if it's dark still, it's okay, like, just
Mhm.
stand and take some breaths
Mhm.
and it starts
Yeah.
your day like that, like, that's such a
Yeah.
beautiful way to start your day.
It is, yeah, and you'd be so grateful for it. I had the other home we used to
Mhm.
live, we had the most beautiful sunrises come from there, and I would
Oh,
take them. I mean, I'd go out every single morning just to grasp that, and people are like,
yeah,
"Well, it's the same view every day," but it's a different sunrise every single day. Every day it was
yeah,
different,
of course, yeah,
and I would just like, "Thank you, Lord, for this beautiful, sunrise." In the wintertime, it was over more to this side and, just all about it. And that was the hardest
yeah.
part leaving that when we had to pivot majorly, over the
Mhm,
past year and
mhm,
all. And
mhm.
I was like, I've got to leave my sunrise. And I want, that was
Yeah,
such a beautiful thing. But I found gratitude in another way over here in my new
uh-huh,
space
mhm,
and, thanking him
yeah,
for where I'm at. But
yeah,
again,
yeah,
I'll have everything in the show notes to connect with Jennifer and to support
yeah,
her. Look forward to the book coming out. I will do the two. I would love to do that and
yeah,
have them because that is so cool. And then
mhm,
the freebie that you'll have for them. So I'll have that in there
mhm.
for them. And any way they can connect with you, just have all that information and we'll be sure
Oh,
to add
absolutely,
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I would love for
Okay.
them to follow me on social and see
Oh,
all the
yeah.
places that my nonprofit serves and all the places my book takes me. I can't wait to
Okay.
see
Sounds
what
good.
adventures are ahead.
Yes, yes, and we'd be open to all of it.
Yes,
Thank you for
100%.
being on here today.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Voice Unbound. My prayer is that it inspired you to begin your healing journey and reclaim the voice God has given you. If you're seeking deeper support, I'd love to connect with you. Schedule a complimentary call at voiceunboundcoaching.com, and together we'll explore how you can step into the freedom and identity Christ has for you. Until next time, remember, your voice matters, and through Him, it can move mountains.